Welcome to the Honest Dog Breeder Podcast with me, your host, Julie Swan, where each week we dive in to discuss all things dog breeding so you can build a breeding business you love, producing dogs that fulfill their owners' dreams. I believe you can have an honest dog breeding program that also pays the bills. So throw those pods in your ears while you're cleaning kennels. I'd love to join you. You guys are in for a treat today. Today we have Bill Collins. You're back with us, except in another avenue. So Bill Collins, you're from Run and Bear, Mini Aussies, and you're over in Georgia. And anyway, the secret is out, but you have been in the commercial flooring industry for over 30 years, right? So today we're going to talk about flooring, all the things you need to know about flooring for kennels and dogs and management and what your options are given your situation, your location, and the subfloor, right? So, all right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Bill. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie. Yes, I've been in the commercial flooring industry for over 30 years. Of course, mainly I'm just behind a computer now. Been that way for a while, but we do large, mainly retail stores. We do a lot of Targets, makeup stores, Walmart, that type of stuff. When you're doing a large store like that for large corporations, they want it done right. So hopefully I can tell, you the right way to do it. So at least you'll know, when you're talking to a contractor, what needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And those floors are so durable, in those bigger stores. Yeah. I'm always impressed. So where would you start if you're thinking about flooring? So what would be the first question you would ask people if somebody said, "What flooring should I use?"
Well, I would think about the purpose. What is the purpose of having flooring in a kennel? I mean, number one is sanitary, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And it'd be comfortable, and it's also safe for the puppies, safe for the dogs, to prevent them from injury or illness.
Yeah.
And you really want the flooring to prevent the absorption, sorry,
Yeah, you're good.
of urine and feces, right?
So true. So like wood decking is probably not the most ideal.
Probably not. And you want something that will keep bacteria, mold, and odor from building up. You ever walked into the old lady's house that has 10 cats, as soon as you walk in, the smell hits you. That's what, I can't stand that in my house.
Oh gosh.
So, and we have a lot of people come visit our kennel, because we want them to see what we're doing. That's the first thing people and the state inspectors say, it doesn't smell.
And it's almost probably 90% the flooring, wouldn't it be?
Right. It's 90%. The other 10% is, you're just lazy, not cleaning. So, but that's another thing. You want a floor that's easy to clean.
Oh gosh, yes, I know. I've been in places, like I've had places where I could not keep my floor clean, and it's just a nightmare. You just can't. It's never ending.
Yes. And I have a kennel that we built. I was able to put an epoxy flooring down. But if you have like a spare bedroom you're using to raise puppies, or, part of the living room to raise puppies, there's some options you could use, for that as well.
Sure. Do you want to start there and just say, hey, like if this is your first litter and you're in your house, like what would you recommend?
I would recommend sheet vinyl flooring.
Like the remnants from Home Depot.
Yes, Home Depot, it's the cheapest. And we actually use it in our birthing house. We have a 12 by 12 birthing house where the mama dogs have their puppies. That is great because you just roll it out, you can do it yourself. And when it's no good, 12 by 12 room, it's $100, $120, throw it away.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's for people who are unsure, that's the stuff that you would find like in an RV in like the kitchen or bathroom area, right?
Yes, or older homes that have, linoleum in the kitchen. And they sell that at Home Depot or Lowe's.
And you're talking about the roll too, not the individual tiles.
No, right. And well, the different types of flooring, I guess, in a house is like carpet. You never want to use carpet. it's never going to clean, right?
No, never.
So, hardwood floors is, we have hardwood floors in our house. It's
Mm.
not a good, it would not be good for a kennel.
Yeah. Do you do
Um,
anything special to maintain that for the dogs that do, that are in your home?
yeah, we make sure they're housebroken. So, but accidents do happen, okay?
Yeah.
Like they get sick. There's not a lot you can do except, spray bleach and an enzyme cleaner, to
Yeah, that makes
clean
sense.
it.
Right,
But
right, right.
hardwood floors wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Uh, there's engineered hardwood floors, which is a
Mhm.
little cheaper material, but it has like a veneer of hardwood
Like
and it
real
has
wood.
a, yes, it's real wood, then a compressed composite underneath.
Hmm.
That would also absorb urine.
Okay, so just not ideal even in your home,
Yes.
probably.
And laminate flooring, like pergo flooring, that is pretty good as far as it doesn't absorb any moist urine on
Hmm.
top of it. But in the seams, it can absorb moisture. Also, too, you got to be careful with puppies getting a splayed hip,
Oh, because it's
because
so
it is
slippery.
very slippery. That's one of the things we use as far as getting puppies acclimated. We have some laminate flooring we put down and let them walk on it, to get used to it.
Sure, but like
But
not right away. And you're talking about
yeah,
the stuff that's like tongue and groove and it clicks together, the floating floor.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I think one thing people don't understand is it's like it's misleading because the box says it's waterproof, but all that means is the flooring itself will not absorb water. It doesn't mean it can't go through and sit underneath it. And I have had a lot of breeders who get urine trapped underneath it and you never get the smell out. And they're like, why are my puppies peeing everywhere? And it's like, because it all smells like that.
Yes. And all it takes is a speck of sawdust when you click it together to keep it from joining all the way together. And it does. I mean, there's a hair, and that's all it takes, a hair width
Yeah.
for the moisture, the pee to
Go
go
right in there.
through.
And I find if you don't catch it or you miss it or it's overnight, it just sitting there, it will find its way in. It just,
Yeah, it will. It
ugh,
will.
but,
You could use ceramic or porcelain tile, which
mhm.
that you can get porcelain tile that has this slip resistant,
Yeah, it has
but
a little texture to it.
the grout joints, you can do real close together.
Hmm.
And there's some epoxy grout you could use, but eventually that epoxy grout is going to break down over time. We used to use it a lot in restaurants. It's still
Mhm.
used in restaurants, but it does break down over time.
Sure.
Um,
I think, so would you rank it that tile is better than laminate,
oh,
like the
yes,
click together
definitely.
laminate? And then
Definitely.
that's, of course, better than
Yeah.
hardwood, which is better than carpet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything's better than carpet.
Okay, let's be
Yes.
fair. Yeah.
Yes. But sheet vinyl is what I would use.
Mhm.
You know,
Especially for something. Now, when you put that in your birthing room, do you actually use adhesion to get it to the floor or an adhesive to get it to the floor, or you just lay it in there?
just lay it in there.
Okay.
Now, I do staple it around the edges. I did that because we had some older puppies in there that would tear it up, at the edges. Now that we move them into the kennel, we don't have that problem anymore. But you can just lay it in there. Lay it in there.
Yeah. And then that's easy to replace it because
Right.
I found if you get a piece that's a little oversized too, you can kind of like roll the sides up a little bit and then that
Yes, you
prevents,
can.
because I mean, not that I would ever have a floor that was uneven.
90% of the floors are uneven.
Yeah. What do you do for them?
We use a self-leveling
Oh,
product that levels the floor,
yeah.
Ardex.
That's not
But
like a quick and easy.
yeah, that's where I put my kids through college and paid off trucks and stuff. So
Not the most affordable. Got it.
the other option would be bare concrete. You
Hmm.
could paint the concrete floor or seal it.
Sure.
Bare concrete still has to be sealed. If you put a drop of water on bare concrete and the water absorbs, urine can absorb.
Right. And that's hard to
So
get out. Is there any way to treat that bare concrete?
I was supposed to do it before,
Well,
not
yeah, if you've
after.
already are in that
But
place
if
where it's
you're already
not.
in that place, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's some cleaners, but the problem is it never cleans 100%. And
Yeah.
older dogs, especially males, go back to that same spot no
Yeah.
matter what you do.
That makes sense. Do you have a like a product or a type of product you would recommend for concrete that's outside?
What I am going to do is I'm going to put epoxy flooring on it
Oh, an
outside. We have,
epoxy coating on top of it?
yes,
That makes sense.
eventually. I haven't gotten
Mhm.
around to it yet because the concrete outside the kennel of the doggy door,
Mhm.
we have a like a 12 by 12 covered area permanently stained of red clay. And
Oh, just the dirt, your dirt around your area. Yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. Eventually I'm going to put an epoxy on
That makes sense.
it.
Yeah. Is
Make
there
it
one that's
better.
better for the UV? I know like our sun just like in Arizona this year, like the sun eats everything.
Yes, polyspartic epoxies are really good for UV. I
Okay.
used it inside our kennel
Hmm.
just because of the windows and we get a lot of morning sun, so it helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Does
Uh,
the sun, does it break, it breaks it down over time? Isn't that kind of the idea on regular epoxy?
yes, yes, it
Yeah.
will. But this is a lot better. It
Okay.
depends too. You can't really buy this material, like
Mm,
epoxy material, from Home Depot,
fair.
because it's not really professional grade, I
Got
guess
it.
you'd call it. So
Do you I found the kits from Home Depot, like the garage kits. My mom, sweet, she has that in her garage. Those flecks. Oh my gosh, the amount of poop that gets stuck to those flecks. You would not think this tiny little smidge of a thing. Oh, it's never ending. Me on there with a brush trying to scrape it off. It took forever. Oh my God.
that's that's part of the epoxy. You want to talk about the subfloor straight?
Yes,
Because what you need for your mom's situation should have put a top coat on top of the flakes.
that makes sense. That would have made it look nice
It
with then seal it
it
and
seals the
smooth.
flakes, yes.
Yeah.
We don't have that problem in our kennel
Do
with
you have
this.
the flex down on yours?
Yes, we have flakes down,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
And when you put the top coat
Hmm.
on top of it, that gives it the UV protection.
Hmm.
And also too, you throw aluminum oxide in it, which keeps it slip resistant. You just
Oh,
take a little pinch of it and throw it up in the air and it
it's just
spreads
very, is
out.
it a tiny, just a tiny
Yes,
powder?
just like sand almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you don't find that like poop gets stuck to it?
Nope.
Okay.
I have the
Wow.
best. I have the best floor in the world.
It sounds like it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one thing I can't stand,
Yeah.
and my wife loves me for it, putting it down.
Well,
So,
yeah. I know. I'm like, I want to fly you out here to fix mine. Yeah.
hey, you have a bill.
Yeah. This is true. Uh, so okay, so then
Okay,
subfloor. What
subfloor.
talk to me about this because I know like a lot of breeders will have, we have our room. So I like your idea of the remnant,
Mhm.
like the laminate floor roll. I think that
Yes.
is the best solution. Plus you can always throw them out if they get gross. And we talked about but like a lot of breeders have like a shed that's like wood and the
Mhm.
wood of subfloor. What would you do in a situation like that?
Well, a wood subfloor, really, I do nothing. I just throw the vinyl on top of it. Okay.
Okay.
It's only $100 piece of vinyl. But the main thing with wood is to make sure the nails are hammered in. There's no
Mm.
nails protruding
Oh, rip
on
the
top
vinyl.
of the subfloor, yes, and it'll
Yeah.
rip your foot if you're walking in there
Well, yeah, not good for
barefoot.
puppies, of course. Yes.
Nail heads, you may need to screw it down. If it's squeaking a little bit, just try screwing it into the joist. That'll take care of it.
Oh, the
Yeah.
floor creaking.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you can use like a Portland-based floor patch.
Hmm.
They sell it, at Home Depot, Henry floor patch.
And what is it
Mix it,
for?
you mix it up with water in the
Hmm.
seams where the plywood comes together. You
Hmm.
can sort of smooth those seams out if
Oh, that
you
makes
want
sense.
to. You would do that. Someone would do that in a house that's putting linoleum in a kitchen, you
Oh, I
know,
got it. And that makes it all just
so
smoother on the
it makes it
bottom.
all look smooth because you can see what's underneath the vinyl floor if there's ridges, in
Hmm.
between the
Yeah.
plywood.
Do you ever sand them down? Or is that like
Not
terrible?
really because of the nails.
Oh, okay.
It rips
Mhm.
up your sandpaper.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. So usually you
sandpaper.
just can't do the. Mhm.
Yeah, usually if you hammer them down good, you could sand it, but the sandpaper we have on our machines costs $8 a sheet. So we don't want to.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
don't want to.
Tear it up.
One nail head would
Yeah, absolutely.
ruin.
Okay. So you would
So
just put the wood down, then you'd put the linoleum over it. And
yes,
then,
that's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
if people have like doggy doors on the outside, like they have like a lot of people have sort of like you have like your stalls behind you. If
Hmm.
anybody's listening to the podcast, I recommend you watch the YouTube video and see his beautiful facility behind him. But there's you have these stalls that are they look almost maybe like 3x4 or 4x4
Yes.
behind
Mhm.
you that are those lanes. A lot of people have something like that on the inside of their sheds where they have a doggy door coming in. Would you
Yes.
still recommend the linoleum or would you have it just come up the edges or how would you?
Yes, we have doggy doors in our birthing house that has
Mhm.
the linoleum. Have doggy doors in here. I love
Okay.
doggy doors. They're the
They're so
best
nice.
things invented. But you know, but yeah, it's not a problem having a
Okay.
doggy door with linoleum.
And they can just, you would just
Mhm.
staple it up the wall a little bit or something and it,
Yes.
yeah,
Or
protects the
not, I don't
humidity.
even think we do staple it up the wall.
I think if you're, the adult dogs are less messy and if they can just go outside to go to the bathroom, it's usually not as big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The puppies, at 4 or 5 weeks, are out of the doggy door, thank goodness. Other type of floor is
Hmm.
concrete,
Okay.
concrete slab. You have a wood slab and a concrete slab.
Okay.
Concrete, you have to be a little bit more careful with
Mhm.
because concrete has moisture in it. All concrete has moisture to varying degrees.
Yeah.
and the and the moisture from the concrete comes from the earth.
Mhm.
Now, there's supposed to be a big sheet of plastic underneath the concrete before the concrete's poured, but sometimes, maybe that wasn't done.
Yeah. It's
That's
not as
called,
common out here, but it is dry.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's different out there where you're at. Anywhere else in the world.
Probably, right? You're just weird over there, Julie. But that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a vapor barrier.
Mhm.
So when you're doing something like epoxy flooring, you
Mhm.
want to get the relative humidity tested in the concrete.
How do you do that?
Well, the best thing to do is hire somebody,
Okay.
but drill a hole in the concrete and you put these probes in the concrete.
Mhm.
So if you're required to have 3 probes per 100 square feet and an additional probe per 100 square feet. So the probe is like
Like a hygrometer, whatever
it's
for
like
humidity.
taking a physical before they give you a life insurance plan. They
Okay.
want they want to see what's in there.
Okay.
So yeah, it takes a reading. They
Mhm.
leave the probes in for 3 days and they come back and read it. So it lets you know whether or not you do need a moisture barrier on
Mhm.
top of the concrete because the moisture barrier prevents the epoxy or paint from peeling. I don't know if you ever seen a garage that's been painted and it's peeling in different spots of the garage.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons. Or even like
Mhm.
at your house, you paint a deck and the paint on the deck is peeling on the railings or something.
Mhm.
That's moisture that's
Got
popping
it.
loose.
So,
Moist,
so
moisture ruins floors.
okay. So if you have the concrete, they test the humidity and then they determine how bad it is, basically to see if you need some sort of barrier before the epoxy goes down. What would something
Correct.
like that be? Is it some sort of sealant? Is that the idea?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it's a sealant that you could put down. I mean, why
Regardless.
why put it down though if you don't need it?
Okay.
A lot cheaper to have. As far as the testing, I think it'd be 5 or 600 bucks, depending
Okay.
on. Usually,
So,
we can get a 10,000 square foot store tested for 1,200 bucks.
okay. And so if you have a giant facility, it would definitely be worth it because of the cost of the sealant would be so much more.
Yes,
That makes
yes,
sense.
right.
Okay. Is it
And
almost always needed? Or are you saying if maybe they didn't have
it
the
does,
vapor barrier?
it's not always needed. If it's in, when I did built my kennel,
Hmm.
our concrete was 40 to 60 days old. So I
Hmm.
knew it really hadn't dried because it's very humid in the south. So
Yeah.
I didn't test the concrete. I just went ahead and put a moisture barrier on it. I don't have to worry about it.
And so this process, how are those applied? That moisture barrier?
First, you have to prep the concrete. The one we use in commercial flooring, you prep the concrete by mechanically creating a mechanical profile on the concrete.
And mechanical as opposed to chemical, right? So
Correct.
you're actually using something either like a buffer or something to, is it scratching it essentially just
Yes,
enough to
it's
give it
correct.
texture?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's like a heavy duty grinder to
Mhm.
open up the pores of the concrete or the moisture barrier adheres to it. Oh, it's a mouthful right
Oh.
there.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of times, right, when you're done with, when you finish a concrete, like the guy who did my kennels, he kind of burned the top of my concrete to help it be a little bit more, I don't know. He thought it would help with the moisture. Maybe you're looking at me like this is a terrible
Oh,
idea.
no, he's talking about burnished concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a power trowel. Yes.
Hmm.
And that does help. Yes.
And it kind of finished the top, but it made it like the crust on bread, right? It was a little bit more dense than the actual bread, but
Hmm.
but then you take that off with your tool
Hmm.
and then now it's very much textured and so like something will seal to it or will adhere
Right.
to it a lot better. Hmm.
Right. Right.
Makes sense.
And that's what a lot of the kits, garage floor kits you see at Home Depot, people never have the concrete open. And we have a grinder that opens up the concrete.
Yeah,
So, and that's in a very expensive piece of equipment.
fair enough.
You probably want someone to do that for you.
Yes, that makes sense. How would it be to have a contractor come and do it work?
Does that work the whole process or just the
I
concrete prep? The prep?
Um, well, is it something that like, I mean, would it be unrealistic to call someone to have them prep if you were comfortable putting the epoxy down, but have them come out and prep it? Is that something that contractors do?
Oh,
Not usually.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. There's
They'll just come out and do that.
there's contractors that only do floor prep.
Oh, wow.
They have the big grinder and a
Hmm.
generator that they bring out and
Hmm.
they'll grind the floor. They have a vacuum system connected to the grinder. That's what we have.
Makes it
And
prevents all that dust.
they're able to grind it, small area,
Mhm.
300, 500 square feet or less, take half a day.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is a little bit.
The other option is shot blasting, but we use that machine on a lot larger spaces.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. And it's faster, but is it a more expensive machine or?
not necessarily faster. Yes, a lot more expensive machine, but
Okay.
we use it on larger areas.
Okay. I do you know anything about, and just because I'm curious, you had said you'd worked with some Targets. I noticed some Targets
Mhm.
have gotten rid of like their white tile and they've just gone to like their slab and then sealed it.
Yeah.
What's happening there? What are they doing?
Well, they're putting me out of business. That's what.
Is it the actual slab that was underneath everything? I mean,
Yes, it
it's the
is. Yeah.
same. Okay, so they've
Yes.
taken all the
What they
tile out.
did,
Mhm.
we do grinding for floor prep.
Okay.
Now that is it's just stained concrete, okay?
Okay.
Polished concrete. They're
Hmm.
they open up the concrete, then they stain it, then they polish it by using a finer and finer grit to get the shine. And those slabs are not absorbent.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so when we're just putting flooring over an old store that has a stained concrete floor, we have
Hmm.
to, open it back up, the concrete slab back up to get our
Hmm.
material to adhere to it.
Yeah, is that why you see a lot of like the gravel and aggregate that's inside the concrete when you do that because you
Yes,
filed it down? That makes
yes,
sense.
right, yes.
Yeah.
Depending on what part of the country you live in. You
Hmm.
see it more out west because you use more of a limestone rock, river rock.
Oh, yeah.
Here in the southeast, we use granite,
Hmm.
which doesn't in our concrete.
Yours doesn't what
Not as much, no.
oh, it doesn't come up as much. Okay.
But
Yeah.
it is, Walmart's doing that now. They're
Hmm.
taking their flooring up and putting, just a polished concrete floor.
And it's
Yes.
actually just grit. Like there's no actual material, no sealant, no epoxy on
Well,
top of it?
no, there is sealant and
Oh,
epoxy
okay.
on it. Yes,
So
yes,
they get it down, they polish it with these multiple stages of grit, and then they seal it. And
yes.
okay, that
Right.
makes sense. Hmm.
Yes, but you could get someone to come out there and prep the slab. But far as the epoxies that I
Hmm.
use, I mean, if you can follow directions, you can do it yourself. It's that
Hmm.
easy. But the most important thing is preparing the subfloor. Make
Okay.
sure there's no moisture
Hmm.
and subfloor the epoxy can adhere to the concrete slab.
Okay, so can we talk about like my slab, for example, and I have that burnished finish to it, and then I have block wall as my
Mhm.
kennel dividers and everything.
Yes.
How would you work with that? Just hire
Well, I
someone to
would.
polish that out?
Yes, just polish it
Okay.
out,
Hmm.
then follow instructions. If you don't need a moisture barrier, all you have to do is just mix the two parts of epoxy for
Hmm.
the length of time it says on the can, the instructions. You more or less, you can pour it down, pour it on the floor, and you move it around with a squeegee, or you can
Okay.
use like a
Hmm.
paint roller and a brush around the edges. Then you let it dry, whatever the manufacturer says, usually less than 24 hours. You have to put the second coat on, depending
Yeah.
on the temperature outside. In hot areas like where you're at, you have to do it sooner. Put the
Yeah.
second coat on.
I think we're almost around like 4 or 6 hours. It's very fast here.
Yes. So you put the second coat on, have Bill throw the flakes in there.
Yep. He's very good at that, like that Salt Bay guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then that dries pretty quick.
Hmm.
You put the top coat on and you just pour it out of the bucket and squeegee it around
Hmm. And
with
when
a,
you're like, I'm in my head, this feels like I would just be like, I'm having a hard time visualizing how thick this is. Like, what would the consistency be like?
you don't want to put the top coat on thick. I actually did
Okay.
that around some edges in my kennel and
Hmm.
it looks bad. But it looks too thick, but
And
you
does it?
just
Mhm.
cover it, just like an eighth of an inch around it and it
Okay.
soaks in the flakes, around the flakes, seals the
Mhm.
flakes.
Is it
The-
thick like honey? I mean, is that like kind of
no,
maybe the
no,
consistency?
it's not that thick. No.
Okay. Maybe just like syrup, like just thicker than water, but not.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Then you just throw the aluminum oxide up in the air and
Oh, right over
into the finish.
into the
Correct.
finish. And so,
Mhm.
are you doing that as you go so you don't have to walk back on it?
No, well, you need to use spiked shoes.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Like
And
almost like
those
golf
are,
shoes?
yes, similar. Yes.
Mhm.
They'll keep you from slipping, but and being able to walk in the wet material. A lot of my guys, they wear soccer cleats or football cleats to when
And
they're working in it.
is the idea that not only is it not sticking to the shoe and coming up, but it's such a small hole that the epoxy will just fill it in when you move because it's still liquid enough.
It
Oh,
does.
very
Right,
cool.
right. And when you throw the flakes into the epoxy,
Hmm.
you let that dry, the epoxy dry. Then you come back and vacuum up the loose flakes you have.
Oh, that makes
So,
sense. So it doesn't move underneath.
right. Well, and also too, you want the top coat to seal all the flakes. You don't want flakes popping out of the top coat. But yeah, with concrete, you got to be careful. The reason you do prep too is because of bond breakers. If you have grease or paint,
Hmm.
the epoxy's not going to stick to it.
That makes sense.
So any chemicals on it need to be cleaned.
Sure. Yeah, just anything that could be. Dogs are gross. So there's always things to clean off. What about like the block wall? So I always had this like beautiful fantasy of the gymnasiums when I grew up. They were just so wipeable. You know what I mean? Like you could just like,
Right.
what was that? It was magic.
Well, when we grew up, they were able to actually use chemicals in their paint. Everything's water based now. So,
Okay. That's
but
probably some beautiful lead or
it's
something.
the block. I'm sure there's an epoxy for block like you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
What I would do in your kennel is I
Hmm.
would do it, we called it an integral base. So you
Okay.
have like a cove base around the concrete and the block wall.
What is it?
Uh,
Like a baseboard?
Yes, but you're making it out of mortar. You're
Oh.
making the baseboard out of mortar to where there's a curve, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Like in a restaurant bathroom where the curve
Yes,
on the corner.
exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. So that's an
Integral.
integral,
Yeah.
yes, base.
Integral base. Okay. And that is,
Because, the
oh, it's built
edges
in.
the edges where they come together, that collects
Yes.
feces
So what
and
you're saying is like, so on my block wall, because my block is mortared right to the slab, because there's
correct.
a footer underneath it, then that seam is yucky. And so if we put in this base that's just made, it will now make that transition a lot easier to seal and keep clean. Oh, that makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
and actually you could use regular mortar where you're at
Hmm.
just to, make it like a 45-degree angle, sort of, to sort
Yeah,
of round it out some,
sure. That makes sense.
where it won't catch dirt and
Yeah, just so it's not a
everything.
hard, because there is like, you're always going in there and I got the squeegee and it always just like it's right there.
It's
It's a
always up
yeah.
against the wall or corner. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
What
then
about
you
like
can,
mhm.
then you can put the epoxy up on the wall that
Oh,
you
yeah.
use for the floor.
Right up through. So it's a seam.
Yeah.
It's smooth.
Just
Oh.
one continuous floor.
Mhm. Don't
Uh,
you have something like that in your kennel?
yes, I do. I went up, I think 4 inches,
Hmm.
just so, I mean, it's great because you just mop it and, you're not leaving remnants from the mop up against the wall or
Yeah.
baseboard or whatever. You're
Yeah.
cleaning the whole thing and makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense. And then yours is what? It's not that integral baseboard. Is it something else?
Yes, it is. Yes, we put a mortar. It's just like the mortar that's used to put the block wall together,
Hmm.
in between.
Hmm.
We put that around the edges.
Oh, okay. And this was
And there's a special trowel you can use to shape it to where
mhm,
it has
the
the
curve you
curve
want.
in it.
That makes
Mhm.
sense. I know there's so many neat tools like that in
Yeah,
masonry.
that little tool is, set, $10,
Yeah.
but it's worth it,
Oh,
because
for sure.
it looks great,
And just keeps it so much faster to clean.
it's
I think that's the
functional.
part, I hate that I have this one, like, I have a kennel panel inside, and I don't know, my stud dog thinks it's amazing to pee on. And it's just like always gross. And you can't like get the mop in there. And it's just like, yeah.
You might be able to even run up the epoxy and flakes
Hmm.
or just epoxy, 2 feet up in the wall, 2 feet up high,
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
have the rest painted. That would
Hmm.
be great, to do.
Yeah, I think that's just the answer. To me, like anything that I can spray down or clean. How is it for, is epoxy okay with like a light pressure washing?
I'm sure it is. I don't know
You just
because
mop and your
all
stuff's
of our
inside.
epoxies inside. We're going to
Yeah.
have it outside, and I guarantee you, I'm going to pressure wash it. In the kennel like you have,
Hmm.
don't even have to use flakes.
Right.
You can
I would
just
just
use
use.
the aluminum oxide to keep it slip resistant and
Hmm.
paint up the walls without, having to throw the
Yeah.
aluminum oxide in it. Also, too, the flakes in here is more for looks.
I know it gives it a little bit. What I have found is the people that like paint their concrete, it does
Mhm.
tend to look pretty boring. Like it's
Yeah.
missing something. And I think the flakes make it look like it's rock instead of just paint. And I
Yeah.
don't know why that it just looks different. I like it better, but
It has a little bit of traction, the flakes, but not
yes,
that
that's true.
much.
Hmm.
But it looks good. So
Yeah. What is the epoxy that you recommend? You said that anybody could use that you get.
I get it from Concrete Floor Solutions.
Okay.
They're a
Is that
company.
something that people can buy retail?
Yes, they can buy it retail. Concretefloorsolutions.com.
Hmm.
I don't make money from them, but they are great guys.
Okay.
And when you get my age, I want customer service. Okay. I'm willing to pay for customer service, and they're the best. I
Okay.
mean, if you have a question, you can call or text them. They
Hmm.
will get back with you. Everything they sell too is pre-measured per square foot. Okay. So it
Hmm.
comes in a can, say like you're ordering a 300 square foot kit.
Okay.
Everything's already pre-measured. You mix part A to part B, and you don't
Nice.
have to measure it. It's pretty much foolproof.
That's awesome. That makes so much difference too, because you don't want to over mix your Yeah.
right. Yeah. And they take all the guesswork is out of it.
Hmm.
I mean, I really like them a lot.
Do they come in a
They're
lot of colors?
yes, there's lots of colors and lots of different flake combinations, and
Hmm.
um, they these guys also have a lot of really great YouTube videos.
Nice.
They walk you through like a garage floor what they do.
Hmm. Wow.
And so once you get past the subfloor preparation,
Hmm.
the rest is pretty easy.
Got it. And that's what
Like,
you mean. That's why you always said the subfloor is everything.
right. Just follow directions.
Hmm.
That's all you have to do.
Sure. Is there any considerations? I have some of those they're like where the concrete is designed to crack. I don't know,
Yes.
those what are they what are they called? Joint?
They're control
Mm.
joints
Yeah.
and expansion joints.
Yeah.
Yes. The
Hmm.
control joints you fill in with a two-part epoxy that hardens in it.
Hmm.
And that's what you need to do before you put the epoxy on top of it. After the subfloor, the control joints will be vacuumed up. That's mainly for commercial. I don't know. Normally houses don't have them. What houses do have is cracks in the slab. I mean, just some are worse than others, but
Yeah.
concrete cracks over time. If it's a real bad crack, you would take a grinder to open up the crack more, then put the two-part epoxy, pour it into the crack,
Hmm.
and now keep it
When
together.
you're saying a bad crack, like what would make it a bad crack?
There's a hairline crack, and
Hmm.
anything above a hairline crack would
Okay,
be
so a
it.
hairline crack, you don't really feel it. It doesn't interrupt
Yeah,
walking on it.
yeah, right. You wouldn't notice it really, but if it's an eighth of an inch, that's a pretty good crack.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I know my mom's tile in her kitchen before we redid her floors were like the tiles were popping from the concrete slab cracking underneath. Crazy.
Yes.
Hmm.
Concrete moves. Houses move, slabs move, the world moves,
Yeah.
constantly. But, so far, knock on wood, it's been 2 years, no cracks in my epoxy floor.
That's so nice. That's
And
so good.
to be honest with you, it looks as good today as it did when I first came in. It's so easy to clean. Just run a mop over it. And,
So nice. Do you use any products with the water?
it depends. She
Hmm.
uses Kennesaw. Sometimes she used to put pine sol in it, mop
Hmm.
water, pine sol. I think every once in a while, if there's a major explosion, she'll use bleach water. It doesn't matter.
It's all fine for
It's
that.
yeah, it's all chemical resistant, and
Perfect.
that's the main thing I want. Chemical resistant, urine resistant.
Yeah. So like
That's
non-porous essentially, and it is
yes,
non-porous. Some of the epoxies are like super toxic as you're putting them down. Like, is that the case for most or like you
yeah.
need to wear
Well,
a mask?
that goes back. Yes, I'd wear a mask. That goes back
Mhm.
to the paint we used to have. The worse it smells, the better it's going to be. Uh, but yeah, wearing a mask would be
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, and those are those
Yeah.
ones, they're like a chemical filter. They look almost like a gas mask with the little flaps on the
Well,
side. And
yeah.
yeah, I remember
Yes.
doing, I think it was like polyurethane or something, and I could not smell the polyurethane. That's how well it filtered. It was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think maybe keep a window open,
Yeah.
with a
Hmm.
fan blowing, drawing
Hmm.
the air out of the space, the kennel.
Yeah.
That works too.
How long does that kind of last? And
The smell from the epoxy, it can last, a while.
like a couple
Yeah.
weeks or
Yeah, at most. At
okay.
most. Yeah.
Probably something that you would put in, do over, a day or so, and then wait a few weeks before you brought everything in.
Yes. I mean, it'll be dry where you can walk on it, after you put each coat down. It doesn't take long to dry. It's
Mhm.
just the gassing off of the epoxy, the gases from it
Yeah,
creates the smell and the headache.
I know. Just walking past it, I don't know. It was really strong a couple times I've been around those jobs. So,
Even like oil-based kills, they still sell that.
yeah,
That stuff you paint it without a mask, it'll make you sick. I mean,
yeah,
sick, sick. But the best thing for covering a stain on a wall. It
Right?
covers fire, smoke, everything.
It is pretty
Most of
impressive.
them. But yeah, it'll make you sick. You don't use protection.
No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so use the protection, get that sub. Make sure you do the
Yes,
subfloor. Hire somebody maybe to do your subfloor prep.
yes, to do the
Mhm.
prep.
Would you
Yes.
have any other recommendations? Would you ever recommend like in a wood shed to do maybe like cement board and then tile on top?
You could, you could.
Mhm.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. To me, it's just cost.
Mhm.
Puppies are destructive as far as the amount they pee and poop,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
even when they are trained, litter box trained, don't get it at 100%. Use an epoxy grout, seal that grout, keep the grout joints as small as possible. Yeah, I don't see why not.
It should work. Okay. Okay. Do you have any preference on ceramic or porcelain?
I prefer porcelain because if you chip porcelain, color is all the way through, and it's a lot harder material.
Mhm.
If you chip ceramic, you're going to see the red or the brown from the
Oh,
under.
because it has like a finish on top. That's the pretty tile you bought. And then ceramic is this red inside.
Well, ceramic is there's a glaze put on top of the red. The
Yeah.
clay, it's more than clay, okay? But it's clay, and they
Yeah.
put a glazing on top of it, and it can be broke easier. It's cheaper.
It's usually cheaper, but it's more brittle, is what I've
Yeah.
found. And like it's very like if it like you can chip porcelain sometimes, but like ceramic cracks has been my experience.
Well, in commercial applications, they always use porcelain tile. It's all porcelain.
Outside in Arizona, we will only put porcelain outside. We have a lot of like overhangs that are just like back porches, and those
Right.
are often tiled, and it's always porcelain.
Yes. Yes.
Makes sense.
Porcelain's the better choice.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well that's good. And I have people ask me because you do. You're like, well, does it matter? This one's $1.50 a square foot. This one's $3 a square foot.
Your cost normally in ceramic tile, porcelain tile, is
Mhm.
not the tile itself, it's the labor. It's like painting a house. The paint costs $500, the labor costs $2,000. Go ahead and spend $700 for good paint,
Right.
$800 for good paint. You're paying a little bit more for porcelain,
Mhm.
but you're getting a better product.
Yeah.
You're going to pay the same amount, whether it's cheap tile or good tile, to have it installed.
People were going to ask to have somebody do epoxy. What would it cost, do you know? Or what questions should they ask the contractor?
If they were having someone do epoxy, references number one. Ask them how they prepare the subfloor. Can't use chemicals to repair the subfloor. I mean, to prep the subfloor. Can't use like an acid etching like you
Mhm.
can on some products because it's a shortcut. It's a red flag. So,
Okay. So look for somebody who does mechanical prep.
yes.
Okay.
And, as far as the cost, anywhere from $12 a square foot up. Now, that would include just the labor, the
Mhm.
mechanical labor, and then installing the epoxy labor.
So that's like everything done.
A small area is going to be a minimum like $3 or $4 a square foot to prep, maybe $5 a square foot to prep. But like when we do prep our big stores, we're charging $1.30, but we have a lot more area to, makes it worthwhile to go out there and do
Oh, for the prep. Yeah. Well, that makes sense because you're
for the
getting
labor
you're getting
costs.
like a bulk price, right?
Right. So,
So
but yeah,
yeah,
that
I'm looking at like your 12 by 12. That's 144 square feet at $12. It would only be 17.28. That's not terrible, really.
But that does include the cost of the epoxy.
And what is that? That's just the labor.
Yes, just the labor. Yeah. And it depends where you live. We have about the same labor price, but New York, Massachusetts,
Sure.
Northeast, Illinois, California, whenever I work out there, I start at doubling the price. That way I'm still the cheaper, always double
Yeah.
my price, in
Yeah.
certain states. But it depends where you live
hmm
because labor prices are different everywhere.
what do you think the epoxy itself would cost, give or take, if you ordered from your place?
250 square feet or 500 square foot. For a 250 square foot, the complete for the materials, it'd be between $830 to $1,000.
Okay.
And that includes 3 coats. You're getting the primer, the epoxy, and also the top coat. Polyspartic, sorry.
Mhm. That's the UV resistant one that you like.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. That's
makes sense.
and that also includes flakes and the aluminum oxide.
It's the whole thing.
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I think when you look at the amount of time saved in cleaning, not scraping, being able to mop it, being able to not deal with the smell, like the peace of mind, it's kind of hard to put a price on it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're having 4 or 5 litters,
Hmm.
a year, that's a lot of pee and poop.
Yeah, take one puppy and pay for the floor.
To me, the epoxy floor is the best.
It doesn't really seem like there's much other option, you know. I think the only thing that I would suggest, like it's like sometimes if you're super rural, it's hard to get somebody out that does epoxy. It's more common, but like out here, I still have to bring somebody in from Tucson, which is an hour away.
Everything's an hour away from you and from me, I mean,
Yeah.
but if you can just get someone to do the prep, then you got somebody that can epoxy.
Yeah, that's hard. It's less hard.
You have a bill to do that.
Well, yeah.
So, and the instructions are real simple.
Mhm.
It
You're
is.
thinking most breeders could probably manage it.
Oh
But
yeah.
it would be worth the money to do the floor prep for sure, especially for
Yes.
the concrete to have the mechanical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you don't mechanically prep it, there's no guarantee on your
Yeah,
floor.
exactly.
Taking a chance.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to redo it. And then how long do you think lifespan on that? What do you expect to get out of the lifespan on your
Gosh,
facility floor?
I expect to get till I die.
All right.
Uh,
You're
I
probably
don't
looking at like 20 years or more. I mean, this is not like we're not looking at replacing this on a continual basis.
honestly, I don't know, but no, it's not going to be replaced in my lifetime.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe one day may have to put reapply a new top coat, but I
Mm,
don't see it happening. It's not breaking down,
awesome.
even with whatever Alice feels like throwing on there today, as far as
Yeah.
chemicals. It's
Yeah.
still looking good and it's holding its
Perfect.
when the dogs come in and track their red
Mhm.
feet from the
Mhm.
clay, the
Mhm.
dirt. I mean, it's just amazing. Just regular water cleans it
Just takes
up.
it right up. You
It's a
don't have
mop.
you're not worried about scratching it at all with the dirt or anything coming in on your shoes?
No. Now, someone did scratch my floor, probably my son, moving something,
Oh, okay.
or my grandson. It
Yeah.
scratched the paint, but
Yeah.
luckily it's not in the puppy area. It's here by the desk.
That's good.
But
So, okay. So just not things shouldn't slide on it, but dirt, people walking in on their shoes, not a big deal.
it had to be something heavy and metal because it's a deep scratch.
Got it.
No one knows anything about it, but
Right.
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the sheet
Mhm.
vinyl in the birthing house
Yeah.
because, just take a mop to it.
Yeah, I probably get 6 or 8 litters on one without any problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the wood shed that we have,
Hmm.
I mean, wood absorbs and holds urine more
Yeah.
than anything. So
Yeah.
it's just like a sponge.
Do you have any recommendations on the walls for people who do have those wood sheds?
We just paint walls. Oh, I will tell you one thing I did on the wood shed is remember the oil-based keels we talked about? I sealed the floor with that.
Oh,
And
before you put the rolled.
before I put the
Mhm.
sheet vinyl down,
Yeah,
just in case
because it is
something.
waterproof, right? Like
Well, it's stain proof. I mean,
okay,
nothing's going to get in there and hold it. You can
got it.
clean the kills. I mean, it's not really what it's made for, but I just wanted the wood sealed where nothing
Right.
could penetrate it.
No, that makes sense. I always think like, we always buy like the satin finish paint just because you can wipe it if you need
Right.
to in a way you
Right.
can't do that with eggshell and flat.
Right.
Yeah. So I think like
Yeah.
kills is like that a little bit more.
Yes, and that's the stuff that'll make you sick.
Right.
But you
So,
need the original kind, not the latex keels,
mhm.
because that one don't want to do anything.
And it does off gas and then it's done. It's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
but I think for the sanity of that, having it sealed and if there is an accident, you have a little bit of
Yeah.
buffer.
If someone tears up the floor and they start peeing on it, I'm not worried about it.
Anything else you can think?
No, just subfloor prep. Most important thing.
All right. Subfloor prep it is. So
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And really appreciate you sharing this with us because, my poor Bill's to-do list got a little longer, but otherwise, really, really good.
Happy wife is a happy life, right?
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
If you found this episode helpful, please tap that like button. It helps me better understand you and support the channel. If you're a current or aspiring dog breeder, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos come out. Thanks.